Hello everyone. Polish Championship just finished last week, so I decided to show you to record some of my games from the tournament. Well, first isn't because I always lose the paper version of that, and sometimes I just want to see how it was, and there is no way that I can find it. I'm not very good to organize those things, so in that case I can always check it on my channel. Maybe some of you will also find it useful. So let's get to the first game. I was playing against Damian Jarnuczak, and we random this position. White has to run. What is quite funny? We played 7 rounds, and that's not the only time that I random this position. So I can say that I was quite lucky to play it again. The position I think is quite good to play because first of all, black can do many different plans. So for example, can exchange back straight away with no problems. Yet can play without exchange, for example, something like this. With interesting positions, really hard to say who is better. Another idea is straight away here, and then exchange it double way just to change the game, and also option like this with the threat of exchange to the back and keep this piece. So there is many plans. My opponent decide to choose the most obvious option, so simply come back a little bit and don't cause too much tension. I answered with g3 and he decided to go on a5. So still nothing happening. I just develop the pieces from the main line, and he played on b6. So now I had to find some plans what to do further. First of all, this move is not possible for white because black prepared hidden combination. So giving 2 over here, has to take the most pieces, then giving that one and finishing on h2. So of course we have to be careful here, and I had few options. For example, I could still wait, he would develop here. I could either play such a move and try to surround, but I didn't see much options over there to complicate the position. I could also try over here and play this kind of position, and for example I could try play something like this here. But I decided here to take some risks. If you want to win, you just need to take a risk in the games. And I played on d4. So what's the plan? What was the idea behind it? First of all, black cannot develop pieces from main line, and black cannot develop in the simple way those pieces. So why this is risky? So first of all, I was expecting this move, and for example, if I play anything here or here, black can exchange it on that wing, and at this moment black has 2 temp less. So this kind of position, let's say hop hop, this kind of position with those pieces with 2 temps less, it's supposed to be better. Of course there is this piece that is not developed, so it's really hard to say, but it looks like black will have easier game over here. Second option, for example, if I would play something like this, black can also attack from this side. Also the options for black, if I'll play something else, options for black here is to attack this, and for example after here I cannot play over here because of this combination. If I play something else, again black can spice up the position with such a move, which is quite interesting and very risky for both sides, I would say. But here black played, and also I just wanted to show you there is such an idea over here of combination, so black also has to be careful. Even if this piece is still here, this idea still works over here with this and that. So there is some combination, tactical ideas. And anyway, in this position black played a bit passive because he didn't want to weaken her b8 yet, so he decided to play on e5 with the plan of going on d6 and exchanging it back safely. But in this position it looks like I will be able to surround black. So that's how it went. And I could feel already that black won't be able to develop too much because it's perfectly surrounded. Either they will have a control over c5 and e5, but it's really hard to develop further. So yeah, the game went over here. And now my opponent play on a5. I was afraid of this variant to put the column straight away. So there is a threat of exchanging. And so in this position white has a few different plans, but it's really hard to find the right one. So for example, if we exchange on d4 trying to hold on in here, black will simply attack on f4, then the weak position on here is disappearing and the advantage is gone. Another idea here was just to wait, but then my opponent exchanging over here. There's no good time for him to exchange somehow, but after any moves in here he will be able to make a draw. And the idea which I was planning in the game was such a move. And unfortunately black still had the opportunity to draw that by entering d4. And for example, if I play here, then black attack over here. We cannot wait because of breakthrough over here. If we wait, then black will still break through that way, and the way to the king is free. No problems over here. So probably after entering d4, I can exchange back and still try to play such a position. But in the game I was trying to see what will happen after this one. So first of all, this move looked good because of this column. Black is very limited in the moves here, but after that move black has such an idea, and suddenly black got better and black has a winning position. Why is that? The combination for white here will not work. I'll show you why, and there's no other other good moves because white will just go for a king. And if we do the combination, we cannot put the king over here because it will be captured straight away. If we put the king over here, then it will be captured that way. And it's 4 against 4, but white has nowhere to go and just has to sacrifice all the pieces. So that's quite an interesting idea, but in this variation white had a better move, and I'll show you how. So in this position, after here and here, white had such a plan. And now if black will play f6, then our surround will still work and white will win. Here you can check it yourself. For example, here, then we can probably play straight away over here with winning a position. And if black will try to break straight away on this side, then sacrifice does not work for him, because after here we give piece away, we lock those 4 pieces with those 3 pieces, and regardless that black can go for a king, it's not good for him, because if he goes b2, we prepare the trap, he cannot go further. It will be equal pieces, but those 4 are blocked by these 3. So he would have to move somewhere else, then we can force him to pull the king. If here, then again that doesn't work. If here, it's winning over here. So at this point, if black would play something else, then we force him to go to the king, and with the same variation, if he doesn't, then we win this way, for example. And we have 2 pieces against 1. If he decides to move this, it will be followed by this combination. So it is quite a nice idea, but my opponent decided to go otherwise. And maybe those columns, that was his last chance for a draw. So there we go, that's the position. So he decided to go straight away over here. I played on d4 and he played let me just check. The position was like this. So he played on a5, I played on a3, he played on a7, I played on d4, still locking all this wing. Black cannot develop at any point, and he played on b6. So now, of course, we have to be careful with such a combinations. That's winning for black. Also, we have to be careful with here. This combination would be a draw, because we will, after this, we will capture the black king, but draw is not what we are interested in this position. So here I played the move, logic move over here. But if you think outside the box over here, that this position is already lost. But I didn't come with this move because it's a bit anti-positional. So my move is still good and probably still winning, but we can make it much quicker with white right now. So let me show you that. Going on d2. So somehow I didn't consider it because it's anti-positional move, right? Because if you cut the board on half, on this side you have only 3 pieces, on this one you have 6. Black has to exchange. If black wouldn't exchange, for example, play over here, we cannot make a combination straight away because he will make a king, but after sacrificing this, that will be winning. But if he exchange, so we straight go for an outpost. If he attacks, we simply go for a king. If he doesn't, then we let him for the outpost and win that way. After last possible option here, we can win either by go for a king or by locking the opponent that way. With absolutely winning position. So this option over here I unfortunately missed. Probably the game could have finished earlier. Okay, there we go. But I totally missed this option and I played over here. My opponent exchanged straight away. And in here I was trying to calculate a lot the outcome of this position, and I decided to play over here because if he put the column as he did, no, actually he didn't play it, but if he does, then I will go on h4, and this exchanges doesn't work because I will take it. If he exchange on here, I will take it here. So this column doesn't bother me at all. And if he play over here, then I'm still holding him on the surrounding. He played straight away on b6. Then I played on e3. He went on a5. I played on d4. He played on g7. Now I played on e3, and he played on c7. So the position is absolutely winning. I found one of the ways that is winning, but there is actually many options. So, for example, I decided to play on h4. I will show you in the second how did it go. Also, winning idea is to play on f4, and after b6 we are doing the combination for a king. If he gets his king, we cut him off with the threat of taking it. He doesn't have any counterplay for that. Another way to win. Another way to win was even such a move to sacrifice the piece and go on c5. But the most spectacular way, I would say, in this position, the most spectacular way to win this by white and not give any ideas for black anymore would be crazy move over here. So what black could do, if black will exchange here, then after this move it's winning that way. If black will take the combination over here, then we take one, has to take 3, black has to take 3, then we are using the moment that black has to take, and then we are getting the king on h8. Black has to run, otherwise we'll take it for free. Then we doing second bit in the combination, taking those two and running for a king. So that was like really nice way to finish it, but I didn't want to make it too complicated. Didn't want to try to find too complicated options. So I calculated simple win over here. So the threat of giving 1, taking 2, black has to sacrifice the piece and go on b6. Now next move, black will take this little shot, but I have to allow it. But after that, the position is absolutely winning. Now I was expecting my opponent to run here. After I was planning to attack him again, he would have to run here. I was planning to attack him again, not to allow endgames here. And after c5, white still have to be careful, because this is not possible. Because white has to take 2, black will take 2 with the king, and it's a draw position. But this move is absolutely winning. My opponent was trying to defend slightly differently. He gave this piece away and went for another king on here. He cannot capture me because it's absolutely losing as well. And very soon he gave up, as the endgame is absolutely winning. Let's get to the second game. So in the second game, I was playing with black. So to win the match and have 3 points in the tournament, I just needed a draw, but still the position is nice to play. I decided to play this idea over here. I think my opponent got scared about exchanging over here and decided to play g3. So in this position, the idea is that this piece is also making some problems for white to develop. So that's why I decided to play here and keep it there. My opponent played over here, I played on d6, and then he did double exchange on h2. I already like my position because, as I mentioned, this piece is disturbing my opponent to play. If he develops h2 to f4, this kind of positions are normally not very strong. And in here, I just wait and see what my opponent will build. So the only possibility that he can find some counter game here is to create something on this wing. He decided to play on b4, and I straight away attacked this piece just to because he will be forced to exchange some pieces on this wing. So his position is getting worse, because on this wing he won't be able to build anything good. He exchanged it to the center. The position went like this, and I played on c5. So now my opponent played on b2, and that is already losing. The only possible defense is exchange it here, and play something like this with slight advantage for black. So yes, so this move is already absolutely losing. There is no chance for any draws. My opponent exchanged it over here, and I played on e5. Now, what's the options over here? If he play on h4, that's absolutely winning over here. If he still wait h2, then I simply play on a7, and here is still not possible because of this, and there is a free way. If he blocks me here, then I can play here, and that's absolutely winning again. So that was the position was really hopeless. If he would play on f4, then I just wait on d6, and after exchange to the front, the position is finished. My opponent came up with some different idea, but it didn't work either. He decided to sacrifice the piece. And try to break through over here. Even if I would let him here, it's probably winning, but he will still sacrifice this piece and get the king apparently. So after this move, I just went on a5 and b6 with idea of breaking through. And in this moment my opponent gave up. If he would try play here, I could probably still wait on e7. He has to go. I would take this piece and cutting off this line with winning position. Okay, so that's how the first round went. Let me know what you think. Maybe you've seen something interesting, you can share it in the comments.